Hello, welcome back to Switched On. Been playing more V Rally 4, which came out today, so I just thought I'd make another quick video. I'm not sure how long this is going to go on for, but I've recorded a few bits of footage here. A few people are interested in seeing some more of this, so I thought I'd record a little bit more, and we'll just have a little chat over the top of some of it. There's some quite interesting things to talk about. But overall, impressions are really good. Been playing it mostly docked, although I have played about half an hour handheld, and that was really good. And obviously the textures are a lot lower, some jaggies and a little few slowdowns and things, but it's nothing that's too drastic that's going to completely put you off the game at all. Really, it's very playable. But all this footage here is obviously captured on docked mode, and I think it runs really well. I mean, you're going to get people that will pick holes in some of the textures that are a little bit low res in places, and the overall look of it is probably a little bit last gen, to be honest. But that said, it runs really fast, and it's just a really fun rally game to play. And sometimes I think people are a little bit harsh on the Switch. It is basically a tablet, so it's obviously not as powerful as a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox. But it's not to say we can't get great looking games on the Switch, because there's plenty of them. But sometimes gameplay trumps graphics, really, and I think this is one of those cases, and I hope people don't pull it apart too much, because it is really fun. So I've got a feeling it's going to review quite well. I know from some of the reviews on other systems it's kind of gone into like a mediocre pot, but then on those systems they're going up against the dirt rallies of the world, so if you're going to compare it to those, it's obviously not going to compare as favourably. But let's have a look at some of the footage here. So here we're in the Escort. I think this is the Japan track, and we're obviously in cockpit mode. Getting a little bit of the hang of the controls, although don't tear me apart, because I'm not the world's greatest driver in these games. So here's one of the external third-person cameras. Some of these hairpins are pretty cool. This Japan track, actually, the first half of it that I unfortunately missed recording, was all through little narrow streets, which I thought was really cool for a rally game. I've not really experienced. There's a few of those little things in this game that sort of I've not experienced before in other rally games. But you're sort of travelling through these little narrow streets, so a lot of hairpins, a lot of square lefts and square rights. So doing a lot of sliding around these narrow streets, just really cool. Really needs 100% concentration, but is a really fun and something quite different to drive around in one of these rally games. So this is the American track. I think it's Sequoia Park it's pronounced, but this is mostly through a forest, some tarmac sections, but mainly through gravel and mud. This is probably one of those tracks that can look good and bad. I mean, again, there's some nice lighting effects there, but generally the trees look pretty muddy texture wise, look quite low res in places, which is a bit of a shame. But you're not looking for hyper realism in this game. I think it's one of those games as well where you're not, although there are some rallycross events, you're not necessarily looking at other cars, so you're not constantly looking at car models and seeing some sort of lowest textures. That's a hairy bit as well. The road splits there. Again, not seen anything like that in a rally game. So really keep your wits about you. There's also roundabouts, more in the Japanese track. There's roundabouts, and it sort of tells you what exit to come off, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, as I was saying, there's not other cars to sort of compare against, so you just basically focusing right in front of you at the track. So to be honest, when you're actually playing this, you can sit and watch this video on YouTube, and while I'm driving, look around and think, oh, those trees don't look very good, or the foliage isn't great. But when you're actually playing it, you kind of get that tunnel vision, and you don't really see that kind of thing. So not to make too many excuses and give developers a free pass on things, but I think you have to keep a perspective, and the fact that this keeps up a really fast pace and is a really fun driver if you can drive straight and not like me there, just drive off completely off the track. But yeah, some of the vistas in the background are really nice. get a lot of things happening in the background as well. So you've got moving water, you've got wildlife. You might have seen a few times like birds taking off as you drive near them. I'm sure I had a squirrel or raccoon or something run across the track as well. So little things like that are really good. Makes the track feel alive. And again, if we carry on from our video earlier today of comparing it to Gear Club, you know, Gear Club's got none of that. It's got, you know, the backgrounds feel quite sterile and quite dead in comparison. So the final bit of footage we're gonna have a look at is from Siberia in Russia. This is a snow track. And again, I really like the graphics in this. The sort of the way the light hits the snow. It's just seemed quite realistic to me as you're driving. Sort of got that brightness off the white snow. This was quite a hard track to drive because even though you got markers either side of certain parts of the track, obviously all being white, it's very hard to pick out the right path to take. But yeah, Co-Pilot does a good job of navigating you through this. And again, this was a really fun track to drive, as difficult as it was. Didn't have to set up the car or anything for the ice. I'm sort of going to extend my realism and assume that my mechanics set it up for the ice track. And it wasn't quite as slippery as you'd expect driving over snow like this. It was a little bit of slippiness compared to the tarmac tracks, but again, going to assume that we had spike tyres on or something. You see here at points it gets really hard to see, especially when you're going over the bumps and you've got those blind bends coming up and the snow packs either side. A couple of hairpins here. Yeah, hopefully you're seeing enough variation of footage here to see that it's a really good effort by the developers to get this onto the Switch. Haven't seen any footage at all of the PlayStation or Xbox or PC versions of V-Rally 4, so I'm not really comparing it to those. I might check some footage out just to see how much of a downgrade the Switch version is, because I mean, you can tell it's a downgrade. It's like those ports, you know, of Doom and the other sort of ports of bigger games we've had on Switch. You can just tell that, you know, the textures aren't quite as good. There's a few effects missing, but what the developers have tried to do is get the core gameplay in, and that's something I really appreciate. So I think we're going to end it there. What I've got coming up is a video of a whole rally, so it's about 6-7 minutes long, all filmed from the interior view, and then the full replay afterwards as well. I think that's from the Japan rally, so I'm going to upload that as a separate video if you're interested in just seeing a whole race without me yakking over the top. So I will upload that as well shortly, and be cool to drop me a line in the comments. Let me know what you think about V-Rally. You're going to pick it up? Is this the sort of game you want on the Switch? Simulations, or do you prefer the Mario Kart sort of arcade style games? I think there's a room for both, but I think this is probably the best simulation game we've got on the Switch so far, racing anyway. MotoGP 18 is really nice. Again, you can tell it's a compromised port, but once you get used to the handling and how the bikes react, it's quite a fun game. And then of course recently we had Mud Runner, which isn't a racing game, but it's also sort of steeped in simulation, so as an actual simulation in inverted commas, that's really good as well, but you know, a different sort of beast to a racing game, but also definitely worth checking out. So anyway, as I said, I'll leave it there, and I will catch you in the next video. Just my car somersaults into the oblivion, and I will see you then. See you later, bye.